Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Arthur Yeung, your biology teacher. Today I would like to share my favorite biology books. It is The Selfish Gene. I show you the latest Chinese and English version of this publication. Apart from looking for a hard copy of the books, you can search in Google. You will find many different versions. And also you can easily find the PDF of this book because this book is very famous. The book is written by Richard Dawkins. The main theme is evolution. It used the terms selfish gene as a way to express the concept that genes are the center of the evolution, not the organism. That means the individual organism or group of organism. The center of evolution should be gene. This is the core concept of this book. The book is very influential. Is translated to more than 23 languages and is recommended by a lot of scientists and a science educator. Well, if you are studying biology or you are interested in biology, I recommend you to read from chapter 3, the immortal cores. Of course, the cores we are talking about is DNA because the structure of DNA is double helix. So in this chapter, you can know about what is DNA and how DNA works and how they control the activity of our every cells. As it's not a textbook, the readers are not expected to sit for an exam. So you can read it in a quite interesting way without any pressure, and you can learn about some important concept in genetics and also about evolution. When you read the book, you always come across the terms survival machine. The author used this term to illustrate his concept on how organism works. Let's consider another types of machine. That's the communication machine. That's the cell phone you use every day. How the cell phone works. First of all, our cell phones consist of different hardware. For example, the chips or the RAM or the MON or different button. On the other hand, the hardware will not work without the software. That's why we install a lot of apps that help us to make use of our cell phones. In fact, those apps, for example, Facebook or Twitter or IG, they are not the core of the software. The core of the software is the operating system, the OS. If you are using iPhone or iPad, it is iOS. And if you are using a Samsung, it should be Android. And if you are using a notebook or a desktop computer, it should be the Windows. The same concept applied in organism, or we call it survival machine in the books. In our integrated science or biology lessons, usually we focus on the hardware of living things. For example, our different organs, intestine, our lungs or liver, and also in a smaller scale, we'll focus on the structure of the cell. We have cell wall, we have nucleus, and then we can further deep into the molecules. For example, proteins, lipid, etc. All of these are hardware. And inside the nucleus, we have important molecules called DNA. Why DNA is so important to the cell? Because we have genes. Genes are codes written on the DNA, on the DNA molecules. So there's the software. The genes are software of the cells. Now I hope you can realize that DNA and also genes are so important to the functioning of the cells. If we go back to chapter 2, the title is Replicators. That means the genes, because genes are the basic unit that replicate itself and pass it to the next generations. And in chapter 4, the gene machine, this chapter lets us know that how the software and the hardware of the cell works together in order to make us alive. As comes to the final part of this videos, I want to talk about the most influential or most controversial concepts in the book. That is, morality or selflessness can be explained by the evolution of selfish gene through game theory. Game theory is the study of mathematical models of strategic interactions. That means, although through the book, we use selfish to describe our genes. However, through some calculation or mathematical models, we can come up to the conclusion that we can explain why we will help each other. We may take a look at the content page. In chapter 5, it's about aggressions. It's talk about why some animals bully each other but some do not. It's talk about the logic behind the calculations. Also, in chapter 7, the family planning, this chapter talk about why we love our family members, but not being selfish. Also, in chapter 9, the battle of the sex, it explains why we are faithful to our spouse. I read this book when I was secondary 4, and although we may not agree all the conclusions in the book, it's truly enriched my way of thinking. This book really changed my mind and helped me to understand the world better. That's all for my sharing. Hope you will enjoy the book too.